So you're thinking of moving to Northeast Ohio and Strongsville is on your radar. Well, it's a good choice. In today's video, I'm going to take you on a full Google Map style tour so that you can get a feel for, the location, the neighborhoods, the schools. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about where people are hanging out. But stick around because we're actually going to show you a few desirable areas and with some great amenities. And we're going to even get into some pictures. We'll show you some properties that are actually on the market right now and different price points. So let's get into that right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Northeast Ohio and the different cities and the surrounding areas, then make sure that you subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so that you can be the first to learn what's going on in the marketplace in Northeast Ohio. Hi, my name is Joe Latangio and I'm with the Moving to Northeast Ohio team. And my team and I, we get calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you looking to make their move in Northeast Ohio. So keep it coming. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Better yet, schedule that Zoom call. We'd be happy to help you make that smooth move in Northeast Ohio. So here's Strongsville. Strongsville is this little square right here. And it's tucked away in the southwest corner of Cuyahoga County, which makes it super convenient because, you're within minutes of Cleveland as far as location. Let's go ahead and pull up Cleveland. Downtown Cleveland is right here. So you're within minutes. So if you work downtown Cleveland, you've got 20 to 30 minute drive depending on traffic. But let's zoom in and look at Strongsville. You've got a lot of things going on here in Strongsville, which is pretty cool because first of all, you're centrally located between Cleveland and Akron, and then kind of, all those in between cities. All right, you've got Route 82, which is Royalton Road, and that's gonna come all the way across through Strongsville. So that's gonna be your main east and west road through Strongsville. And that's gonna take you to a bunch of different other roads as well. Another main road is going to be Pearl Road, which is 42, and that's going to take you up north and south through Strongsville. And then you've got a couple other small roads. You've got, Drake Road is another small road that's going to take you in and out pieces of Strongsville. Lund Road's another small to Schumer Road. That's another road that's highly trafficked. You've got Howe Road. Now this one takes you up through 282. Then you've got Prospect, which takes you all the way through Strongsville, all the way through up, and you can actually get to the airport, and I'll show you where that is in a couple of minutes. Major highways though, you've got the Turnpike. Easy access to the Turnpike, right? Turnpike access is right here off of 71. So you've got 71 that goes north and south through Strongsville. You access 71, entrance, exit here. You can get on here as well as up here, which is just north outside of Strongsville. Then you've got access to the Turnpike, which again is going to be through Strongsville, and your access to the Turnpike is going to be either off of 71 or right off of, Pearl Road actually will take you over into the Turnpike so that you can jump on the Turnpike going east or west. So you go out to Toledo over to Youngstown. So you've got access, right, via major highways, Route 82, you got through 71, you can access the Ohio Turnpike. Sometimes traffic really just is a pain in the ass, like I said in my pros and cons video right here. And a reason why, this is gonna be a well-trafficked area is because you've got the exit off of 71 right here. Rush hour is going to be traffic, but then you start throwing in holidays and different special events. It gets really busy and gets backed up. So just be prepared for that. And then traffic here on Pearl Road. Now they've done some, updates with the traffic patterns. They've changed the roads. They've increased The lanes, put special turning lanes in, so they've done all this. They've tried to alleviate traffic as much as they could. But I think one of the problems that you have with traffic, and I think I talked about this a little bit, is that, you know, you've got only one exit to get off into Strongsville, or you don't have two exits, which poses a problem because a lot of people, like they were talking about putting an exit ramp right here off Boston Road, but you know, a lot of people are fighting that because they don't want that exit ramp there, but that would help alleviate the traffic that you have all here on 71 and 82. But why is that so busy? Well, I mean, you've got everything up here. Like all of this is major retail right here. I mean, all of this is major retail. You've got this, you've got the mall, right? All of this right here. Now you come into, there's another plaza right here. So you've got major retail right here. Everyone's trying to get to this South Park Mall. You've got within there, you know, you have all kinds of shopping, restaurants, dining. You've got a bunch of restaurants in here as well. You know, you've got Outback Steakhouse, Panera Bread, Condado Tacos. You got the Rail Craft and Bar. So ton of restaurants. A lot of people hit these up. You've got some restaurants here in the mall. I think Houlihan's. You've got the Brew Garden, which is over here. So it's a pretty busy place, right? And then, I mean, the benefit of it is that you don't really have to drive anywhere to go far in Strongsville because you have a lot going on, you know, if you live in Strongsville, within Strongsville itself. So that's one area, okay? And then just further down 82, you also have, here's another shopping center right here. So all of that is shopping and restaurants. Look, you got Longhorn Steakhouse is right here. Houlihan's, let me see if I can find that. It's in the mall. The Hooli Pub. I've been there. Great burgers if you're looking for a burger. This guy right here, the Hooli Pub and Kitchen. Good food. Bunch of places that, I mean, as you can see, all these stores inside the mall. So a lot of activity going around. I guess that's one of the biggest, you know, pains is just all of that traffic in that area. But then you also have this, if I zoom in here and I hit up like all of this right here, coming down here, you know, you've got more retail. And I talked a little bit more about this, you know, that's the concrete jungle, right? That you have to deal with that major convenience that you have of living in Strongsville. But a lot of fast food joints. Oh, I will have to say, there's one mention in here. They've got Shinto's Japanese Steakhouse, pretty highly rated. I recommend it too. It's really tasty. They got really good food if you're into you know, the Japanese steakhouse. So lots of different places. Now this is all, you know, on Pearl Road. So let me zoom back out so you can see again. All of this right here is going to be another, and then you've got all of this right here, right? That's kind of like your busiest part of Strongsville. I mean, you get into some of the side streets like Lund Road, just because of the location of where it's at right here and where you are in the middle of all that convenience that you have to get to. So a lot of things going on in Strongsville. Airport. Okay, so how far are you? So if you like to frequently fly, or, you know, you got to fly out for work, you're minutes from the airport, you know, within 20 minutes, depending on traffic, 15 to 20 minutes, depending on traffic. So let's take a look at that. Cleveland Hopkins International Airport's right here. From Strongsville, just really depending on, you know, where you're coming from in Strongsville, you can take Prospect, which is Route 237, all the way up into the airport. You can, you know, if you're down here somewhere, jump on 71 right here and take 71 to 480 to get to the airport. So a couple different ways to go. There's another airport down in Akron. So Akron-Canton Airport's about 53 minutes. So unless you're really saving some money on those flights, it's worth the drive. Or unless that's the only place that you can catch a flight out at. And that's just, you know, taking the turnpike, jumping on the turnpike, taking Route 8 south to 77 and heading over to the airport. So yeah, it's 53 minutes easy. What's there to do outside in Strongsville? You know, you've got the parks right here. You got the Millstream Run Reservation. When I take my motorcycle up through here, if you're into riding, this is a great place to take your motorcycle and kind of cruise through the Metro Park. And actually, you know, you take this straight up to Lakewood. It's a really enjoyable ride. Nice curves, it's really enjoyable at the speed that they have it set at. I mean, you know, I always go a little bit faster, but on a motorcycle, but it's a really cool ride. But Millstream Run Reservation, you've got a lot of things going on over here. You've got a couple thousand acres of play that you can do. They've got hiking, bike trails. They've got some nice easy walking trails. You've got the Go Ape Zip Line Adventure Park, which I kind of hit up in my pros and cons video. Gotten some details on that. You've got sled riding in the area. They've got toboggan area over there, so you can go sledding in the wintertime. There's another sled park close by where there's a big giant hill that you can do. You can go sledding on. So lots of stuff to do outdoors. Okay, and as far as proximity to other cities, again, Cleveland, you're 20 to 30 minutes depending on where you want to go in Cleveland. Take an I-71 and that'll take you right up into Cleveland. Just depending on where where you want to go is going to be dependent on how you get in there. So 20 to 30 minutes, that's without traffic. So make sure that you plan ahead for any of that, especially if there's a game downtown. And then as far as Akron goes, you're about 40 minutes. Again, that's traffic dependent. So you know, there's a couple different ways to get to Akron. I guess it depends on which way you're going. Typically though, I would say most people are gonna jump on the turnpike. It's just a quicker access. You could take 77 south, you know, down 77 into Akron this way. You can finish and go all the way across the turnpike, get off at Route 8 and take Route 8 into Akron this way. Again, traffic dependent, you gotta watch out. You know, you've got some traffic here on Route 8, and you've got some pretty good traffic here sometimes. Now there is construction going on right now, so you know you got to pay attention to that. And then you are close to other cities. You've got Medina, which is 25 minutes. That's a straight shot down 71, quick and painless to get into Strongsville. You've got Brunswick, down 42 to get into Brunswick, or you can jump on 71 and get into Brunswick as well that way. There's a lot of things to do up north. I mean, you've got Lakewood, you've got Crocker Park up here in Avon, you've got Westlake. So just depending on, there's a lot of restaurant shopping, more stuff out there to do. And again, that's going to be 25, 30 minutes, just depending on what's going on. What's cool in Strongsville is that, just outside of the public schools, the local city schools in Strongsville, you do have several other options for private schools that your kids could attend. So as far as what's in Strongsville, you've got one early preschool, you've got 5 elementary schools. So depending on where you live, right, it's going to be depending on what school that you're going to attend. And then you've got one middle school, which is right here. And then you've got the high school, which is right here. So again, depending on where you live, at least for the elementary schools, it's going to dictate to where you're going to go and school. And the Strongsville schools, hey, they're rated. They're highly rated. They've got an A rating through niche.com, and they're high rated in academics, teachers, club activities, sports, administration. So all of that, you've got a really great school system. All right, let's get into real estate now. Okay, let's go into the MLS and let's take a look at the map. We're going to take a look at, some of the properties. We'll get into some statistics here. We are still seeing a seller's market. Which is just saying that, hey, more buyers than homes are available, which puts the pressure on prices, right? And typically when it's still a seller's market, you're going to have a bidding war, and often leads to multiple offers. I've seen it over the last 30 days, have competed in them with some of my clients. So let's talk about the total listings that are on market right now. There's, within the last 30 days, we're going to talk about total active listings is 62, all across all the price points. And so inventory does kind of remain tight, right? Kind of gives the sellers a little bit more leverage, limiting choices, for some buyers. New listings. So this month, over the last 30 days, there's only been 10 new listings. So It's not enough to meet demand, but it's going to help keep that competition strong. The median list price is just under $400,000, which is actually down 4.2% month over month in Strongsville. It's a slight dip in the asking price, which may suggest that sellers are adjusting their prices before they put them on the market. And what's that going to do? Well, it's going to attract more buyers, and possibly get higher offers when you're in a multiple offer situation. And we'll get into some of that too. The median sold price is around $385,000, and that's actually up 8.5% month over month. So, despite the lower list prices, the actual sales prices are up, and that's indicating a strong buyer demand on the homes. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these properties in the MLS. Let's see what's going on. Let's get in, zoom in closer here. Here's one listed at $324,000. This is actually a decent entry point into Strongsville. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It was built in 1964, and this one's got just under 1,700 square feet of a living space. Let's see what we got. This is like a raised ranch is kind of what I call them. I used to actually live in a home like this where you've got everything is, you step up to the first floor, and then down to the lower level you have another living space. Most of them are finished, so that gives you, some extra room downstairs. But this looks like it's finished off nice. Now they open this up. Most of these, they have a wall. A lot of them that I see have a wall like right here that separates the living room from the kitchen and the dining area, and you just have a small space of, entryway into the kitchen right here, and then a doorway right there into the kitchen. So, but this one looks like they opened it up, which looks really nice. This is a nicely finished house. So you got some nice flooring, open space. You've got some stone veneer, fireplace, granite. Obviously the kitchen's been updated, so you've got oak cabinets, which kind of, the era for oak was maybe 90s. Very nice looking. You got tile backsplash, like that glass type tile backsplash. Not much of a cantilever over here for the seats, but more countertop. That's really nice though. It's updated, look at that. Bathrooms look really nice. Looks like a Corian type finish on the tops. You got tile, looks like hardwood floor. Could be. This is a really nice house. All right, let's go downstairs. And again, you got that finish down. The same neighborhood. Let's stick around the same area. This one's actually coming in at $250,000. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, built in '63. This is only 1,000 square foot. So let's see. That's a fantastic entry point in Strongsville. Hardwood floors, kind of basic. Updated kitchen. That's nice. That looks like granite countertops, vinyl plank flooring in the kitchen. So it's just a smaller home, right? $250,000. This right here probably was like a dark stone color. They painted it white. Not really much you can do with them. Pretty nice house though. And on this one, I do not believe that there's a basement. They have updated the bathroom. Nice tile, new sink. So that's a really great entry point. I mean, 1,000 square feet. Oh, it does have a basement. Look at that. And you get all that space in the basement. That's huge. You could add all kinds of additional living into the basement. Like they got this virtually staged, I like that. But pretty big space, you can add a long room right there and then have your laundry room and all that off to the side. Well, look at that. Need a little bit of landscaping done to it. So not much that you need to do. That's a great price here in Strongsville. This is in the Preserve at Strongsville. Okay, obviously there's going to be an HOA here. That HOA is $120 annually, and that covers your common area maintenance and the recreational area. And this is a colonial home. This one's listed it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and it's built in 1999. It's got almost 2,900 square feet. And this one here is listed at $559,000, right around there. Nice patio, ceramic entryway, goes all the way into the kitchen, 2-story, all open to the second floor. So it's more of a traditional style. It's not open concept. Nice tray ceilings in the dining area. Granite countertops looks like in the bathroom. Vaulted ceiling in the living room area. Nice fireplace, stone veneer, nice hearth. So pretty big place, just under 2,900 square feet. Got your eat-in kitchen, granite countertops, newer kitchen cabinets. That's nice. Nice kitchen island. Again, that ceramic tile kind of coming through all the way to the first floor. Oh, you get some extra space here. It's probably, what is that? Maybe a pantry. All of that open to the upstairs. Vaulted ceilings, most likely the master bedroom. Huge walk-in closet. Look at that. Nice flooring, double sink, nice big soaking tub. Bathroom's pretty big. Separate shower, that's nice. And looks like ceramic tile. Bedrooms seem to be on the bigger side. And a finished walkout basement, look at that. That's pretty nice. Drop ceiling makes it really convenient. You gotta add anything or fix anything, or at least drop ceiling on one part of the basement, but you got some puck lighting down there. Carpeted, open to the outside. That's a really big space. And you get a little kitchenette down there. Extra shower, full bathroom, and then a nice backyard. You get a deck with a patio, a stamped patio, looks like. Nice big backyard. Oh, look at that. That's even open under. Oh, you even got concrete underneath the patio, so extra space right there in itself. So $559,900 in the preserve of Strongsville. Let's get into the $600,000. Where are we at with that? And this is a $400 annual HOA. So a lot of Strongsville, you're going to have the HOAs, especially the newer neighborhoods. This one here is a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, built in 1997, just under 2,900 square foot, $600,000, all brick, 2-car garage. I like the side lights on the front door. That's nice. To the basement and upstairs to the second level, all of it's open. Nice flooring throughout the house. Big. Now this is more of your open floor concept at just under 2,900 square foot. You got wainscot in the dining area, open to the living room. You've got the kitchen open to the family room, granite countertops, nice new cabinetry. Looks really good. Newer flooring. I'm presuming that's a walk-in pantry that's in that kitchen. That's nice. Fireplace in the family room, which has sliders off to the backyard. First floor laundry. Huge master bedroom. Continuing the same cabinetry, it looks like, as in the kitchen. So nice big bathroom, soaking tub, double sink. Rooms are pretty big. Again, 2,900 square foot. I don't think the basement is as large or finished off as the other one, but it's nice finished off basement. You got a nice bathroom downstairs. It looks like you got a couple of rooms down there. So in a neighborhood, $600,000. What else do we have in Strongsville? So that's on the south side of Strongsville. Let's see here. We haven't touched base on a $400,000 house, but we've got a couple. Again, this is the more expensive side of town, $725,000. Let's see what you got there. This is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, built in 1989, so newer. You've got almost 3,400 square feet here, listed at $725,000. Been on the market for 97 days. So, what does that mean? Could be overpriced. What's going on with it? May just not offer what people are looking for in the $700,000 price point. All brick ranch, big yard, huge yard. So I don't know that I would have staged it that way with the kitchen table right there, but big kitchen, granite countertops, vaulted ceilings in the living room, fireplace, kind of broken up a little bit. That's a nice space. That's like the Four Seasons room. You got some nice tile. That's a real big space. And it's a vaulted ceiling, so that's a plus. More traditional, I think older style. So I mean, there's some updating, I think, maybe to get the house, up to today's interior designs. Ceramic tile in the bathroom. It's a big master bathroom. More of a traditional look. So needs a little bit of love. I mean, got a finished space downstairs. Again, I think the biggest thing here is maybe it's a little bit dated as to why it's kind of hanging around, but it's got a huge living space downstairs. Drop ceiling. I like drop ceilings in the basement personally. I mean, just because you can add things to it and you can, easily repair things that are underneath the drop ceiling, as long as they're done, right, I guess. Isn't that about everything, really? Another shower downstairs. Another big office space room. There's a closet, laundry room, most likely downstairs. So big yard, Nice ranch home, big yard. Let's go back to the map. Let's go to the north side of Strongsville and see what we got up in here. The north side of Strongsville, here you go, $472,000. This is in the Edgebrooks subdivision, $150 a month for an HOA. This 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, that's a colonial, built in 2015. 2,800 square foot plus additional living space in the basement. I'm giving you almost 4,100 square feet of living space. So let's check out this. You got a nice stone face. Houses are a little bit closer together, different kind of neighborhood, not as much frontage. Kitchen's fairly big kitchen. I mean, you got a lot of cabinetry in the kitchen. Laid out a little bit different. No, that's nice. Well, I mean, you got that open breakfast bar, right, to the dining area, which has the opening to the backyard. And you're actually kind of open to your living area too with a fireplace. So kind of an open concept in that area there. Again, not so much open concept. There's a part of it that is more of a traditional layout. So it looks like second floor laundry. Big walk-in closet. Rooms are fairly decent sizes. Decent sized bathroom. That's him and her sinks in the master bath, it looks like, with a separate shower and tub overlooking the backyard. Basement is finished with carpeting, decent size, finished off basement. It looks like that would be in the basement as a bathroom. So a little bit smaller, a little bit more congested, but a big house, big property. That was just under $473,000. And you get landscaping, ground care, snow removal, all that stuff is taken care of for you here in this one. Hey, thanks for sticking around, and we greatly appreciate you for that. Give us a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. So we're gonna cover more in Strongsville, so make sure that you subscribe and you tap that bell for notifications. We definitely wanna hear your feedback about living in Strongsville, so please share what you loved about Strongsville. What's your favorite thing that you did here? How about a place that you hung out? Or what's your favorite restaurant? It's gonna help everyone watching the channel. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, please give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. And, you know, as always, schedule that Zoom call. They're gonna be more fun. We'd be happy to help you in any way possible. So until next time, we hope to see you around town.